We are 20 days away from the 2022-23 women's college basketball season, and as we get closer to tip-off, things are starting to heat up. The preseason AP Top 25 poll just dropped, and I'm going to give you my initial reaction and also some takeaways when I first took a look at this poll. Of course, we're going to talk about the number one team. I also evaluated if last season's number one seeds are still ranked in that top 4, maybe even top 5 range. We're going to get into who shot up and who fell based off the final top 25 poll. And then we're going to get into who's the strongest conference represented. And to end things off, we're going to talk about some snubs and others that received votes. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. The number one team, are we surprised? South Carolina, the defending 2022 national champs. This is the third season in a row that they are ranked the number one team in the preseason poll, and they are actually the favorites to run it back. If they do, this will be the first team to repeat since the 2015 and 2016 champions owned by UConn. And they're in great position to do so. They bring back majority of their championship squad, including Aaliyah Boston, who was the National Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, the first player to accomplish both in one season. However, they are missing point guard from their championship squad, Destiny Henderson. So they'll look for players like Zia Cook or maybe even Raven Johnson to step up in this role. But man, we always talk about how defense wins championships. South Carolina dominates in this category. And if their offense matches this season, good luck. All right, let's go ahead and get into last season's number one seeds. We have South Carolina as the number one overall seed, Stanford, Louisville, and NC State. However, this year in the preseason poll, number one, as we mentioned, South Carolina, number 2, Stanford, number 3, Texas, number 4, Iowa. Texas and Iowa breaking in, replacing Louisville and NC State, and rightfully so. They look so strong. Texas coming in as the defending Big 12 champs, also coming off back-to-back Elite 8 appearances, and Rory Harmon, I mean, just coming off of an impressive freshman year. I'm excited to see her encore performance in her sophomore year campaign. As for Iowa, they bring back their number one scoring offense and field goal percentage in the nation, paced by Caitlin Clark and Monica Czinano, one of the most dynamic duos in college basketball. I'm excited to see what's in store for them this season. They had an early exit in the second round, so this team is coming in hungry, and they're putting the nation on notice, coming in as the top 4 team in the nation in this preseason poll. Now let's get into who shot up. Tennessee, 13 spots. I mean, they hit jackpot in that transfer portal. Rakia Jackson, Jillian Hollingshed, Jasmine Powell, Jasmine Franklin, and then they also add number 11 recruit Justine Passat. Last year, they were long. This year, they got even longer. And they even bring back some dominant vets, Jordan Horston and Tamari Key. They made it to the Sweet 16 last year, and I could see them going even further. Another team that shot up was Notre Dame by 12 points. They had a strong showing in March, making it to the Elite 8, almost knocked off NC State by 3 points. They bring back Olivia Miles, who was the top 4 in the nation assists, Dara Mabry, Maddie Westbeld, you name it. Also some transfers like Kylie Watson, Jenna Brown, and Lauren Ebo. So this will be a team to look out for. North Carolina also jumps up as well. They bring back 4 starters, including Deja Kelly, who was their top scorer. They have tons of potential to build on. They only fell to South Carolina in the Sweet 16 by 8 points. So they will be a dangerous team if anyone goes up against them this season. Oklahoma jumps up 7 points. I'm excited for this team because they bring back their core, their super seniors, and Maddie Williams and Taylor Robertson, and also added 3-point shooter Aubrey Jones. So that will be exciting to see what splash they can make in this league this season. Now let's talk about who fell. Louisville by 3 spots. They made it to the Final Four, as we mentioned, but they only returned Haley Van Lith and Olivia Cochran, that junior duo that will have to step up for this squad. But they do have tons of new pieces on this team that makes them very promising, including transfers from the ACC that I'm excited to see mesh with this group, Morgan Jones and Chrislyn Carr. NC State also dropped about 7 spots. They were a #1 seed. They lost 4 to 5 starters from last year's Elite 8 group, but they bring back Diamond Johnson, Jada Boyd, Jakia Brown-Turner, and Camille Hobby. They also added some scary transfers, Sanaya Rivers, who was on that championship squad with South Carolina, Mimi Collins, and also River Baldwin. LSU also dropped 7 spots, and they had a very successful first season in that Kim Mulkey era paced by the seniors. Now newcomers will look to build on that success, and we will all look towards Angel Reese, who was the top transfer ranked by ESPN. Baylor is another team that I noticed dropped dramatically. 11 spots for them. They miss front court duo Nalissa Smith and Queen Egbo, who is now in the WNBA, but they bring in some big time transfers. Also the number 17 recruit Dariana Littlepage Bugs. Michigan was another squad that I noticed dropped dramatically. They round out the top 25, they dropped down 13 spots, and this was a group that made it to the Elite 8 last year. Naz Hillman is a huge loss for this team. She is now in the WNBA playing with the Atlanta Dream, but they bring back Leah Brown, Emily Kaiser, Layla Filia, Maddie Nolan, Cameron Williams, you name it. This will be a strong group that I would not take off your radar and sleep on. Now let's jump into the representation of each conference. Big 10 coming in with 6 teams, ACC 5, Big 12 coming in with 4, the SEC with 3, Pac-12 with 3 as well, Big East with 2, the Summit League with 1, and Ivy League with 1 team as well. As far as snubs, I didn't see one. I mean, this is a very strong list. Utah receiving votes with 35, UCLA coming right after with the #1 recruiting class, Villanova, who upset UConn last year, is also mentioned, Kansas, DePaul, Georgia, very exciting group coming in, new coach, new pieces from UCF, who nearly knocked off UConn in the March Madness tournament, and also Belmont, nearly beating Tennessee to advance to the Sweet 16 will be exciting to see. Miami, South Dakota, Ole Miss, Kansas State, BYU, Gonzaga, Florida, Arkansas, South Florida, UCF, Duke, Alabama, and Washington State all received votes. Overall, looking at this preseason poll, it is strong to me. You have to see everything play out though. It is still early. We haven't seen games yet. We saw some teams lost vets during the offseason and also some transfers now joining new forces. So we'll see if it works or if it won't work, if chemistry will be immediate or take some time. But we are getting closer to it. The season starts Monday, November 7th. So make sure you follow along all season long on March Madness social platforms and NCAA.com for more.